Welcome back to Nitro World Games 2019. Well, we are just ticking off the events here all day long. We just got done with Nitro Rallycross. We had the FMX competition, the Moto Quarter Pipe, and I'm lucky to be joined here in the booth with the winner of the FMX competition, Pat Bowden, and also the winner of the Quarter Pipe competition, Corey Creed. You guys, thanks so much for showing up. Huge day here at Nitro World Games. Pat, I'm going to start with you. I mean, coming out here, Travis Pastrana sets this thing up, and you knock it down twice, actually. How's it feel to go home with the win again?
It feels so good. It feels so good to be sitting here right now because, like, coming into a competition like this, it's so gnarly, and you never know, am I actually going to make it out of the event? So I'm just soaking it in right now. It's good to be safe, no injuries.
Right.
But on top of that, it's good to have another first place trophy for sure. I wanted to back that up, second year in a row, so life's good right now.
Corey, you too as well. I mean, setting world record heights on this quarter pipe, which in itself just gives me vertigo looking up at what it feel like to come out here and smash.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal. At the start of the week, it was kind of always the goal was, I want to go home with a world record, do or die. So, yeah, we put the work in through the week, and it all went pretty well. And yeah, just stoked to get third last year and then come back and get the win.
Probably one of the most impressive things to me, I mean, freestyle motocross, one of the gnarliest things ever. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen. But quarter pipe to me just seems like the one, like, if you're going to get broke off, it's going to happen over there. And no one, like, nothing, no even instances. Everyone was just being so smooth.
Yeah, you know, if you fall resilient to the ramp, you're going to have and eventually have a crash. So you kind of just got to step up to it, but have a lot of respect for it at the same time. So yeah, that's what I was trying to give it as much respect as I could every day and not disrespect it so it didn't bite me.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty important. Now, Pat, I mean, you're out here, you're kind of taking in everything. Is it hard to kind of enjoy everything that's going on when you have to be so hyper-focused on your own one event?
Yeah, for sure. It is like so much, the best way I can explain it, like so much weight on your shoulders. Like you can't really think straight. Like as soon as I landed my trick and I'm like, I'm done. It probably took me like 10 minutes to calm down. And once I was calm, I was watching Corey. He was like in the middle of the competition and I'm like, everything that he was going through, like I could see the look in his eyes and how much adrenaline was pumping through his blood. And I'm like, I know exactly what you're going through right now. Like you just want to get it over and done with, make it out safe. At that point in time, you're like, I don't even care if I get a trophy. I just want to be safe. So big respect.
Yep.
Couple of Aussies on the podium.
Absolutely. It's been kind of an Aussie theme here this weekend. So, we were talking earlier just about the progression in FMX and how, like, when Travis kind of came onto the scene, he was winning with, like, heel clickers. And now to where it is, to what's happening out there and what you guys are making possible. I mean, what you're doing right now with the front flip Christ airs, like, in 5 years, that's, like, going to be a go-to trick for people. Talk about progression a little bit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like when I first was inspired by freestyle motocross as a little kid, I was like, first time I saw it, I'm like 100% that's what I'm going to do one day. No doubt in my mind. But unfortunately, the time that I came in, it's like by the time that I managed to become a pro, it's like the sport has just progressed so far that now if you want to be at the top of the sport, you got to do essentially like you got to risk your life every time you get on the bike. So yeah, it's definitely, it's a strange thing to think about because it's like, what about the kids who I'm inspiring? What are they going to have to do when it's their turn? So, yeah, it's so far the sport doesn't seem to be slowing down. So I'm excited to see what's going.
No, every time it's a jaw dropper every time you come out. And speaking to you, Corey, like quarter pipe's kind of the Wild West here because there's not a lot of people that really want to step to it, and the dudes that do, you guys are kind of gladiators at this point because you're going to war when you're hitting this thing.
Yeah, well. Essentially, there's only 5 of us in the world that want to come out and send it off the biggest quarter pipe in the world, which is 32 feet from the top. So yeah, it's surreal. It's cool to just be here. You kind of grab it with 2 hands, and and try to embrace it.
Talk to me about and like kind of explain to people what is it like to do an air that's that big, like in that feeling of absolute weightlessness.
Well, I think it's from the very get-go is riding at that ramp as fast as a 450 can essentially go. And then, yeah, just kind of once you come off the ramp and you start watching the height pole before you even look down at the down ramp is probably the biggest trip. That's what I love the most. You're like still traveling upwards before you even look down. But yeah, that's the best feeling for me.
And I had talked to some of the other guys today too. Like most of the quarter pipes you guys ride are a fraction of this size. So when you come out here, you only have a couple days to get used to it. Is it hard to get used to a quarter pipe of this size, or is it kind of easier because it's got a lot of transition?
Yeah, well, it's easier to have the smaller quarter pipes. I've got one at home. I practice on it a little bit, but to come out here and ride this one, we're just thankful we get a few days in advance because the ramp's so big and so long, the bike setup is so crucial. And that's what I like the most about it, is having to chase the setup on the bike. And you could go something so dramatic on the bike, and it's the difference between 1-2 foot. So that's where I get my motivation from. I love being able to go back to the pits, change some settings, change some gearing, go out, try it again, and then go back to drawing board and see if it was better.
Is it the same in FMX? Like, you guys we're at altitude here, so you have to have the bike adjusted to the levels of altitude.
Yeah, definitely. Like, especially because I'm on a 2-stroke. I don't know what the elevation is here, but I know that it's high enough to make a pretty significant difference. So when I started my bike this morning, I was hoping that I didn't fail a plug. So yeah, I mean, my bike was running sweet, luckily, but as far as my suspension setups go, it just comes down for us to just send it.
All right, Corey, we're going to show you your winning air here, and just talk me through it, as far as like what's going on in your head through this whole thing.
All right, it's time to go. Full throttle, as far as the throttle will go.
Oh my God, dude. That is so ridiculous.
Yeah, like the throttle is on the stopper, and then you kind of like, you catch the pole out of the corner of your eye, like, yeah, that was pretty good. Like my winning one wasn't my highest. I think it was like round 3. I jumped like, I think a 46.8 was the highest. So the last jump was 45.7. So yeah. So at this point right now, I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
I even get emotional now thinking about it.
And it kind of looked like, too, like you kind of stalled out in the air, too. Like there was like a micro adjustment, and you did kind of hang.
Yeah, well, the judges judge it for the lowest part of the bike. So every time when I was kind of at the highest point, I'm like, I'm going to try and, pull this thing up a little bit, try and get as much out of it as I can.
Cheat it.
Yeah, just to try and, get that the highest height.
So we have flat track coming up next. You guys, you've said you've kind of whipped around a little bit on those. Are you looking forward to that, to seeing? I mean, I know Travis is actually going to be in it, so it's going to be pretty exciting.
Well, I'm excited to see Travis, let alone just the hooligan race. So when Travis is a part of it, something's going to go down. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, Colby Raha is going to be in it as well.
Oh, Colby's
so
in it
it's
too?
going to be, it's kind of going to be a sender over there.
Yeah, same with Tyler Berriman, he'll be in it too. So it'll be a good bunch of guys racing again. Same with Jimmy Hill. It's going to be awesome.
Cool. Well, there's so much. Nitro World Games has so much going on. There's been rally. There's been this. Well, when we come back, we're going to see the end event. This is it. This is going to be the flat track event, the Super Hooligan. Stick around. Nitro World Games concludes after this.
From its inception, Nitro World Games exploded onto the action sports landscape, changing the contest world as we knew it. Last year, Nitro World Games expanded with more locations, more events, more athletes, and some of the most epic moments in action sports history, highlighted by the debut of Nitro Rallycross. This year, that expansion continues, and the contest will be the most competitive we have ever seen. From FMX Best Trick, to Moto Quarter Pipe, to flat track racing, to Nitro Rallycross. It will be like nothing we've witnessed before. Right now, we're about to wrap up the Super Hooligan flat track racing at Nitro World Games, here at the Utah Motorsports Campus. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Utah, the state of sport. We are just about a half an hour west of downtown Salt Lake City as the crow flies. This is the 2019 Nitro World Games. And we are wrapping things up out here tonight with Super Hooligan flat track racing. It's been an action-packed day out here at the Utah Motorsports Campus, and we are not just quite through yet. We've got about another hour and a half of amazing adrenaline-filled action to throw down for you out here under the Utah sky this evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jimmy Coleman, sitting alongside Roland Sands up here in the booth. We've got Lorette Nickel out there in the field. And, well, Roland, we had qualifying earlier today, some time trials, if you will, for seating. And now things are going to get really, really heated up out here tonight because we're going to get to what we call the Super Pole, and then we're going to have the last chance qualifier, and then we're going to add more chaos into the mix because we're going to have a 13-rider final when it's all said and done.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting one. You know, we got some new additions to the field, guys who weren't able to ride a little bit earlier because they had other sports to attend to, but we got Tyler Behrman out here. We got Travis Pastrana. We got Colby Raha.
Greg Duffy, who was an FMX Best Trick earlier, joined the mix. So yeah, we have 23 athletes in total. Let's talk about this Super Pole. Now, I've got some limited flat track experience, but here in the Super Pole, I've never done this before. We're going to get them out on the track one at a time. Is that how this works?
Yeah, we're going to give everybody a chance to go out and get a clean lap, show what they can do on the bike, show how well they got their bike set up, and give them an opportunity to put down the fastest time they can.
So what happens is it's a 4-lap run out there when your turn comes up for the Super Pole here. So you get out, you get lap number 1 to kind of heat up the tires, open things up a little bit, and they don't start the time until laps 2, 3, and 4. It's your best time that they take out of that, and out of all of this here in the Super Pole, the top 12 times are going to move on into the final. And then if you're not one of those top 12 times, then you go into the LCQ because that is where we pick up our last rider to go into the final.
You know, the last chance qualifier is often my favorite race of the day. It is you got everybody getting pretty desperate. They all want to make the main. They're out there really, really sending it and giving 110%. And that's the kind of riding I like to watch and see, you know.
So we are underway as of right now. You see, that's Colby Raha. If you guys were watching the show earlier today, you saw this gentleman out there competing in Moto Quarter Pipe. He actually won that event last year. So a lot of these freestyle guys deciding they're jumping in at the last second. How are these guys going to stack up in this field against some seasoned flat track racers?
You know, it's going to be tough. These guys haven't had a lot of practice today. The other guys have had quite a bit of track time. But Colby, you know, he's a talented rider, and he's going to be able to go out and, I think, really send it. We'll see how he shines in the last chance qualifier. I don't think a 22.6 is going to get him into the main, but, you know, he's riding a two-stroke triple. The only two-stroke in the field, 750cc Suzuki two-stroke. That's a water buffalo.
So you're saying that thing's just a little bit heavy out there, eh?
It's just a lot of motorcycle.
It's a little too much power for what you're trying to do out there. 22.63 looking to be the best lap time that we're seeing for Colby. That guy's put in some work out here. Again, he was out here riding quarter pipe or Moto Quarter Pipe, and that alone. Did you watch any of that?
That was incredible.
It was insane.
Absolutely.
Guys are going 40-plus feet. Colby won this thing last year with 45 feet, 2 inches, I believe, was his height. And just the heights those guys were sending it and into the wind out here was mind-boggling.
Yeah, I saw the wind pick up kind of mid-comp, and it was like the guys were still sending it.
That's Jared McNeil right there, who was also competing today in quarter pipe high air as well. He unfortunately got bumped out in that first round, but he's rocking the number 97 number plate out here. So this is Jared McNeil coming off of a gold medal performance at the X Games 2 weeks ago in step up, setting a record at that event by winning that event 3 times in a row right there. I believe it was 4 times in a row, as a matter of fact. But here we go. Jared McNeil is on course here.
Jared's riding a Yamaha Bolt, which is a V-twin Yamaha. Again, this bike started out as a fairly heavy cruiser, a 500-plus pound bike, taking quite a bit of weight off of it, and we're going to see how he gets along with this thing today. It looks like the Monster logo matches the paint job pretty good. It's almost like we did on purpose.
He's extremely color coordinated out here tonight. He's going with the theme right there. Seems to be navigating that thing through the corners pretty well right here. And again, he was a last-minute addition to come into this. We knew we were going to see the likes of Travis Pastrana out here tonight. We knew Tyler Behrman was going to get in the mix, but all of a sudden we get a new start list. And like, oh, Jared McNeil's going to ride in this. So good to see him out here on the flat track. Again, 4 laps out here. They give you 1 lap to get things rolling. Then after that, it's your best time out of laps 2, 3, and 4.
You know, this Yamaha hasn't spent too much time on the pavement. He might be decking that thing out a little bit out there. He could probably use a little bit more shock to get that thing in the air, but he's pushing it. He's definitely pushing the bike where it needs to be to get a fast time.
Well, that's, you know, I'm used to seeing these guys riding their dirt bikes and doing stuff like best whip, step up, best trick, quarter pipe, freestyle run. So to see these guys out here on a much bigger bike, out here in a flat track, pretty impressed by how Jared's holding up with that machine right now.
Yeah, he's doing all right. I think he's getting comfortable. And we got in a little bit hot there. That's the challenge with these things, you know. You get in a little bit hot, you run wide. Sometimes the fast way around this place is just to go slower.
Jared's got a little bit better lap time right now that we saw out of Colby Raha. So Jared's looking at a 20.71 right there. However, they're looking comfortable right now. I wonder how it's going to be when these guys get stacked up out there when you've got a handful of other riders to contend with. That gets a little messy coming off the start line right there, especially in that first set of turns.
Yeah, that's when we're going to see quite a bit of excitement. Coming in that first.
My favorite part, that first turn.
I love it.
Watch everybody throwing elbows, banging bar ends right there, trying to see who's going to fight for that real estate.
Looks like we got Tyler starting in the dirt back here. Yeah, there we go, Tyler.
Tyler Berriman having a good showing out there, making it into the third round of 4 that we had out there in quarter pipe or moto quarter pipe earlier today.
Oh, well, looks like we might have an issue here.
Mechanical there.
Potentially.
Running the 653 number plate.
Oh,
did he break the visor
now we got
too?
a visor issue as well.
Oh, when it rains, it pours right there for Tyler Berriman.
We got our third medal finisher, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to put in any laps.
Well, he's going to have to go get that issue sorted out right there, so hopefully he can be back in time for the LCQ. Remember, if you're not one of those 12 best times, you have a mechanical. You may be down, but you're not out of the mix right here. Greg Duffy, come on out to the party here. Number 176 right there. We saw him earlier today in the FMX Best Tricks. Did you see what he did? The captain front flip?
That was my
How ridiculous was that?
That was the best trick ever performed, ever.
If you'd have told me 5 years ago, someone like you're clowning around at a fair show doing that trick. If you'd have told me 5 years ago saying, hey, you know what? And one day someone's going to do that in a backflip or a front flip, I'd have bet you $500 and said, you're crazy, you're on, because it's not going to happen.
Oh, no, absolutely. And I mean, the style points that he had.
I mean, it was
extension on the captain?
He looked over at the crowd and was eyeballing people up against the barricade line when he did it. It was nuts.
Well, it looks like he's out on the same bike as Colby rode. Looks like he wanted to jump on that 2-stroke. Oh man, we got some tire hop. He got in there pretty hot.
So again, 4 laps here, trying to put up the best possible time. We have 23 riders as we go through this part of the process tonight that is called Super Pole here in Super Hooligan Flat Track Racing out here at Nitro World Games. This is Greg Duffy, currently on course.
There we go, and we got this time. Looks like
Jared's looking like he's got the best time out of the 4 that Greg, second best time. Jared McNeil's got that best time with a 20.71. Greg, 21.05 seconds.
Yeah, he's only 3-4 off of McNeil, so you never know, he might get a spot. We'll see what happens. I mean, we've seen some pretty, we've seen some low 18 times from some of the faster guys, so we'll see how that plays out.
Some of the guys, the experienced flat trackers that we saw earlier today in qualifying, we had quite a few of those times that were up there in the 20s.
Yeah, Tyler was in the 18s earlier today as well, so it's a shame to not see him be able to go out and lay down that fast time. I know he's frustrated right now, and hopefully they're getting that figured out.
Well, hopefully he's got a good pit crew back there, get that visor situation sorted out there, and get that up. This is Tyler coming back
That's
out.
Tyler.
He's on a different bike now.
He's jumped on.
That's
Jimmy Hill's bike. We got Tyler out there on Jimmy Hill's Indian.
How about that for a little camaraderie out here?
There
Your
we
machine's
go.
not working, you can borrow my ride, buddy.
Hey, motorcycles aren't the only thing hooligans share. I'll tell you, these guys, man. Whoa!
Getting a little loose in the corner right there, getting a little
There
speed
you go,
wobbles.
Tyler, get those tires warmed up, buddy. Tyler, the way that Tyler adapts to different motorcycles is kind of what hooligan racing's all about. He's the type of guy who can ride any motorcycle at any time, anywhere. You put Tyler on 2 wheels, he's going to go out and push and do it with style.
It's just that ingrained, that bike control skills that a lot of these riders will have. It doesn't matter the type of machine they're on. It's just, they've got motorcycles in their blood.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler's been riding forever. His dad, Randy Behrman, was a flat track racer.
They actually both raced at the hooligan race at the X Games 2 weeks ago on the final Sunday. After he walked out with a win on Best Whip on Saturday night, he actually finished second quarter pipe at that event. So
there we go. We got a good time now coming into the 18s. We got some high 18s.
Wow, way to go, Tyler! Getting out there on somebody else's ride, and we're into the high 18s right there with 18.87 seconds.
We'll see what he does with this last lap. I think this might be his last lap.
Our best time that we saw earlier in qualifying was in the low 16s. I believe it was a 16.17 is what we saw. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Andy DeBrino that ended up with a 16.17 earlier today. It was either 16.17 or 16.15. Either way, Andy DeBrino was down there in the low 16s.
I think it was an 18.1. I Did he go into 16s?
We got down into the.
Man, there you go, Tyler.
You 18.17.
You got Tyler's burning the tire off Jimmy Hill's bike. You know, these guys, man, I swear.
18.17. You're right. So Tyler Behrman getting back into the neck of the woods there. A lot of those guys, a lot of the top guys were hanging out around the 18-second mark there. 18 and some change. So you got Behrman with 18.79. You got McNeil with 20.71. Greg Duffy with 21.05. Aaron Guardado out of Long Beach, California, out there on the Harley-Davidson Sportster tonight.
He's my neighbor out of Long Beach. These guys, he's got a brother, and these guys love racing together, Aaron and Sean Guardado. He's riding the Suicide Machine Co. I believe that's an XG750 Harley-Davidson. You know, it's a little bit smaller CC bike than some of the other bikes. I think it's good because it probably weighs a little bit less. And you can see Aaron, he's still trying to figure out the track, and we'll see what he's got.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. In my past experiences, it's always been an oval track, so to see this thing have some different turns, this is definitely new territory for me. Is that not the norm for these guys with what they're used to in regular flat track racing?
This is definitely a little bit of a modification. I mean, it's almost like we would call it almost an asphalt TT because it does have a right-hander in it. A lot of times the TTs will also have jumps, but this one,
Wait, you guys throw jumps into the mix in these things sometimes?
Absolutely.
I gotta come hang out at one of those.
There's nothing better than throwing a jump.
Okay.
I'm
sold.
500-pound bike.
We're gonna talk about this later on. I'm sold. I gotta come check one of those out.
Yeah. You know, if we do the jump next time, like guys like Colby will have a little bit more of an advantage. Guys like Colby and Tyler.
All right, so Aaron's out there in his Super Pole run right now. In the meantime, let's check in with Lorette Nickel, who is down there in the field hanging out, rubbing elbows with some of the talent in the field. What do you got going on, Lorette?
Well, Jimmy, look, it's one of our dear friends, Curtis Downs from the Nitro Circus Live Tour, longtime athlete. Curtis Downs, a BMX athlete. You got a phone call that you had a bike. You came out here. How many laps have you done?
I've probably put a total of 20 laps in earlier this morning, and first time on a big bike, so this is an unreal experience.
That is so cool, and you are on the Roland Sands Triumph. So out on this track, I know it's really fast. What are some of the adjustments that you've had to make?
Biggest adjustment is there's a little slight turn to the right that I've had to relearn how to shift my position from turning left so hard and then immediately be on the spot to go to the right and then transfer weight straight back to the left to keep continuing.
Wow, and is that the biggest surprise that you've had so far out here?
It is. Honestly, the biggest surprise is just handling one of these bikes. That's a lot of horsepower strapped to you, so.
Yeah, for sure. And do you have any expectations going into Super Pole?
No, I'm honestly just gonna come out here and have fun. That's what it's all about, so.
So cool. Well, guys, he has a smile on his face. We love this guy. Best of luck to Curtis Downs. Back up to you.
Hey, Curtis, welcome to the party out here. I'm used to seeing that guy on a BMX bike and doing some crazy things on the mega ramp, so I'm excited to see what he's able to do out here on the flat track. We got J.D. Mosley on course as of right now out of Greenville, Mississippi. This guy is a Pikes Peak International Hill Climber champion.
Yeah, JD's out there getting it. He's riding a Harley-Davidson Sportster 1200. I think it's a later model bike. You know, he's pushing. Looks like he just missed a shift right there. But he's JD up to second place. Look at that.
Yeah, with Tyler Behrman's had that best time thus far, 18.79 seconds. We dipped away from Aaron Guardado's run right there because we were talking to Lorette, but Aaron checked in with a 21.16. Right now, the job here, you just want to be one of the 12 best times.
Yep.
That's what you're working towards here in this part of the competition.
You know, you don't want to go to the LCQ. The LCQ is a bang-up, knee-banging, elbow-banging, kind of just shove.
It just seems like it's going to be pure carnage right out of the gate coming into that first turn.
It could be chaotic.
With how many people that we've got here and with the tight turns in this track, I'm excited about that, but I'm also a little bit terrified about how crazy that's going to get and how much stacking up we're going to see.
Yeah, it starts to get pretty exciting. You know, these guys, they get desperate and they want to make that main event. They came out here to make that main event, and it really means a lot to race the main.
All right, you got number 117 out on the track right now. This is Eagle, Idaho's own Craig Reynolds. Competed the last 2 years at X Games Minneapolis in flat track.
Yeah, Craig, you know, he's a working man. He's out there, he's busting his ass to get that motorcycle out on the racetrack, and, you know, he's stoked to come out here and perform for his friends and family, and, you know, that's the stuff that's the type of guys we really enjoy seeing. And just second and third place.
That's what's so cool about this sport. It's awesome. My first experience was a qualifier 2 years ago for an X Games event, and just going out and just walking around and looking at everybody in the pits and just seeing everybody hanging out, the camaraderie, and just the stories. I mean, these guys, a lot of them are blue-collar guys. They drive trucks. They own their own businesses. They've got full-time Monday through Friday, 9-to-5 jobs, and this is a passion. You don't want to call it a hobby because, man, when the weekend rolls around, these guys are just getting after it. They're packing up. They're going to the races, and it was just cool to see when somebody had a mechanical
We got in there pretty hot.
or an issue or whatnot, just how other riders would rally around, wanted to help each other out with equipment or just get the bike ready for the next race.
It's a huge part of the sport, helping other people. Whoa, man. Oh!
Oh, and Craig goes down.
There you go. He came out here to lay it on the line today. He wants to make that main event and had a little bit of a low side, right back on the bike. He's going to keep right on going.
Well, you know what? Laying it down or not, it doesn't matter. It's your best time out of your 3 laps. They give you 1 lap to open it up, get things going, then they take your best time out of laps 2, 3, or 4. He's in that number 3 position as of right now. As we roll through this tonight, it is a 12 cut. And even then, if you're not one of those top 12, you're still going to get one more shot at it because we will have that LCQ to contend with out here.
Yeah, good thing Craig brought his leathers out today, because if he was wearing motocross gear, I think that one would have hurt.
You know what? After this asphalt cooking in the heat out here under the Utah sun all day long, I'm going to guess that's not going to feel too good on the old skin there, sliding out.
This is Jim Otlet. Jim Otlet's out there on a Triumph that he built. And Jim was an aviation engineer.
Let's say, read that he used to work for the U.S. Air Force in his stats out of Redlands, California. Out there about an hour or so drive to the east of Los Angeles.
You could see Jim's signatures, the Hawaiian shirt.
I was trying to figure out what was going on right there.
I've never seen him without a Hawaiian shirt.
There's a lot going on. I was like, is that a shirt? Is that a jersey? But either way,
He's
been happening right there.
He's a colorful guy, man. We love Jim. He's a pivot. He's a pivotal guy to have on the circuit with us, man. He takes care of a lot of guys, gets a lot of guys' bikes out to the track, and he's out there putting it down, moving himself into 4th place, into potentially a position to transfer the main.
Let's say he was in 5th there, and then he bumps up into 4th right now, so that's not a bad spot to be. It's Berriman, Mosley, Reynolds, Otlet right now, your top 4. But still, we have a lot of racing still to go here in the Super Pole portion of things to cap off the 2019 Nitro World Games out here at the Utah Motorsports Campus. Taking a look at the course and what these guys are dealing with out here, and the lovely overhead shot right here. Again, 4 laps per athlete here, per rider, if you will, in this portion of the event. Oh, there you go. There's a great shot of the Hawaiian.
There, yeah.
There, rocking.
Yeah. It's a nice
58Y.
It's great to bring a little color in the sport, Can't all be black.
Clashes a little bit with the red leathers there and the red number plate, but hey, why not?
Jim's kind of a clashing type of guy, man. He likes to throw it out there style-wise.
So what you're saying is that's not the guy that you want to be right next to on the lineup right there. Like get a little aggressive on you there?
Get a little elbowy.
All right, let's check in one more time with Lorette before we move on to Curtis Downs. Lorette?
You guys, thank you so much. Down here with one of the legends of racing. Danny Eslick has quite a resume. Supermoto, 4-time Daytona 200 winner, flat track. I mean, you've pretty much done it all. And now out here on these really heavy bikes, how are you adjusting to the track?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Just got to thank Roland Saints for getting me out here and providing me with an Indian motorcycle to ride. I've done a little bit of everything: road racing, flat track, supermoto, and this kind of goes almost along the ways in between flat tracking and supermoto, and so it's kind of right up my alley. It's a good group of guys and a lot of fun, laid back, good time.
Are you finding that there's a lot of camaraderie between the riders?
Oh, definitely. I mean, once we put our helmets on, we're still going to give everybody a hard time, but in the pits, if something happens, everybody jumps right in to help one another out, and it's just a good atmosphere to be in.
Yeah. And you had the morning session. Any adjustments that you've made so far?
Just put more gas in and try not to tear it up too bad.
Danny Eslick, best of luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
I want that on a t-shirt. Just put more gas in it and try not to tear it up too bad. We'll see him a little bit farther down the line here once we get into the rotation. This is Curtis Downs, who Lorette was been interviewing earlier, one of our regulars on the...
Just moved into 2nd.
Wow, Kurt!
Oh, there you go.
All the way up to 2nd.
Yeah.
First time out here doing the flat track.
He's got that.
Right
He's got a license plate on that Triumph. I'll tell you that much. A license plate in the taillight.
I didn't even notice that until he went into that turn. Wow, look at Curtis Downs with the 2nd best time that we've seen out here tonight. He slides right in between Tyler Berriman and J.D. Mosley.
I love it.
He's got a license plate.
Got a license plate. He rode that thing.
You wonder if the registration sticker's still good on that thing?
I would tell you there's probably a headlight underneath that number plate.
Someone's got. You can see. You can actually see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got a license plate.
Someone's gonna have to take that number plate off and ride that thing back into Salt Lake City tonight after Curtis is done here.
That's what hooligan bikes are, man. These are legitimate street bikes. These are not road race bikes. They're not supermoto bikes. They're not motocross bikes. These are heavy, heavy street bikes that these guys are throwing around. And this progressive super hooligan championship, it's wild, man. These guys are nuts.
Looks like we got Tony Tucker out on course right here. So how about Curtis? It's Behrman, Downs, Mosley, Reynolds, Otlet, McNeil, Duffy, and Borgado in your top 8 as of right now. It kind of goes off the page there. And then you got Colby Raha in that number 10 position as of right now.
Tucker's booting Mosley down to 4th. He's just moved into 3rd.
So again, 4 laps. The first lap is just to open things up, get her hot, and then after that, it's your best time out of laps 2 through 4. Trying to get you into that main. And that's good. There's going to be, earlier today we ran them 4 and 5 deep in the qualifying heats, and it's kind of tight out there. It's supposed to go into these turns. So we're going to have 13 human beings and 13 bikes out there in that final.
And they're going to line up 6 deep. So we'll have 2 lines of 6, and the LCQ will put one guy in the back of the pack.
That's just going to be a sea of humanity coming out, going into that first shot right there. And we expand the lap times too. We go into the finals is actually going to be 12 laps, and then the LCQ it's going to end up being a 6-lap race. Wow! So Tony Tucker, he moves up into the second best time there, so he'll overtake Curtis Downs there. So now it's Behrman, Tucker, Downs, Mosley, Reynolds, Otlet, McNeil, and Duffy your top 8.
These guys I think they're having a good time out here today. They look like they're all having a good time, like they're all having fun.
You see the athlete staging shots, and anytime anyone's been down there,
just got a high five right there
with Lorette, everyone just looks mellow. Like, you don't see the pressure. No one's stressed out. No one appears to be freaking out. Like, everyone's just having a blast. And it's kind of the name of the game out here at Nitro World Games, not just in flat track, but in all of the sports that it encompasses. Josh Slay, number 76.
Josh is our surfer. He's our this guy, man. He grew up pioneering aerial surf, and he actually built a crazy winch surfing system. And he decided
how does that work? A winch surfing? Break that down.
You nail an anchor out, and you pull a winch system out, and you drag yourself into the waves. And
You're kidding me.
No, Josh Slay is a nut. He's a nut.
I'm going to have to do some research on that because I want to see some videos of that. He's also a cancer survivor as well. His nickname is Slay, or the Slayer.
Slay Dog.
I got excited when I saw that in his bio. I was like, yeah, you can't go wrong with the nickname Slayer.
Oh, no. Yeah, Josh doesn't have too much asphalt experience. This is one of, I think, 2 asphalt races he's done. So
he's more of a dirt tracker.
He's more of a dirt tracker. He's out here cutting his teeth, but he's getting that Harley Davidson to work for him.
Well, that white flag is out. He's got 1 more lap to go here. We'll see where this slides him into the mix once the monitor updates here.
Yeah, we're trying to see where he's at.
Oh, there he is. He's in 3rd. He's at the 3rd best time. So now it's Behrman, Tucker, Slay, Downs, Mosley, Reynolds, Otlet, McNeil. Nicely done, right? You said this is only his 2nd time out on asphalt, to your knowledge? That's not bad at all.
Considering that Mosley is, a Pikes Peak winner, you got to give it up to Slay for going out there and pushing and getting himself that position in the main event. He drove out here and busted his ass to get out here, so it's great to see him potentially make the main tonight.
Yeah, if you can go through, be one of the top 12 times for now and get yourself into that main event, you don't have to sweat your groceries getting out there and trying to rack up, get out there in that last chance qualifier. Port Orchard, Washington, Stace Richmond out on the track here, number 26. Says Jimmy Hill is one of his favorite riders.
That's your CC-sponsored KTM. He's riding a real similar bike to Andy DeBrino. And these are probably the lightest bikes on the track. These guys have done quite a bit of work to the bikes.
So we were talking about this earlier. You said that you take these bikes and basically you have to do some modifications to them. What kind of things can you do to take some of the weight off of these? You mentioned making them lighter. What kind of things do you end up doing to modify? What are the specifications? What are the rules on how much you're allowed to actually modify them for hooligan racing?
You know, you got to leave the frame stock.
Okay.
750cc and up, and the bike has to start life as a street bike. So it's got to have the motor that came in the bike in the stock frame. You can't modify the geometry at all.
Gotcha.
But what you can do is remove all of the street stuff. You can remove all the lighting, which some guys don't do.
As we saw with Curtis Town.
Yeah. So you can definitely strip parts off the bike and get the bike as light as possible. You can change the body work. You can change the swing arm, shock, suspension, things like that.
But pretty much the main basis of all this is the frame and the engine itself as it comes off the assembly line.
Yeah, and then the point of this class really is that it's heavy bike racing. Stace Richmond into fourth.
So now it's Berriman, Tucker, Slay, Richmond, Downs, Mosley, Reynolds, and Otlet, your top 8. McNeil, Duffy, Guardado, and Colby Raha rounds out the top 12 as of right now. So there's your Super Bowl for Stace Richmond. We got Tony Alves coming up next, but right now we have Lorette Nickel, who is down there with a very, very special guest. Lorette, who are you standing there with?
Well, the one, the only Travis Pastrana, who just walked over from Rallycross. He's in his old Supermoto leathers. Travis, this is so exciting. Flat track, what are your thoughts?
Dude, this is awesome, and Tyler Behrman's sitting pole right now. I mean, there's a lot of guys to go. I just walked up to Joe Kopp. He's like, hey, I'm Joe Kopp. I'm like, I know. Like, I'm just so stoked to be here. At this point, Rally, Ken definitely, he owed me one from yesterday, but hit me right as I was shifting, lost third gear. He messed up, he got a flat. I'm like, Ken, the first turn! But no, it's just, we knew we needed to be up towards the front to have a chance of that. So I'm excited to come out here, have some fun. Just a little weight off the shoulders now. No one got super hurt so far today, knock on wood, but this is kind of the fun event. Just way too much horsepower, and I can't reach the rear brakes. My ankle doesn't bend, but it was cool because Tyler Behrman can't reach his rear brake either. So we put a little screw extension on there and zip tied it on. Should be good.
Travis, only you would do that, Nitro Mechanics. What are your expectations coming out here?
I mean, I'm super competitive, but looking at the guys, I mean, there's some amazing riders out here. I've got the Indian that I'm riding is awesome. It's not a two-stroke. Greg Duffy, he said, I'm taking the two-stroke because two-strokes are awesome. Like, you rode a four-stroke earlier. He's like, I have to redeem myself. So I get a four-stroke, but I get basically this Indian, or actually I don't even know what it is, but it's not a two-stroke. It's a lot of horsepower. So I got 2 laps of practice straight from the car. Can't reach the rear brakes, so we're working on that. Like I said, we got some duct tape and some wire tie going on. Almost crashed about 5 times in those 2 laps, so I think our chances are really good here.
It sounds all positive, all really good things. Travis, thank you so much. Best of luck.
Thanks, Lorette.
Guys.
Duct tape and wire tie. That's a new hashtag right there. Hashtag Pastrana Mods.
Hashtag you gotta do what you gotta do.
I love it that he just basically hobbled over here from Rallycross, and now he's going to ride last because he just came over here from Rally. So he's actually going to be out here riding in this event. He will go last when we get done with Super Pole. That's awesome that they're just rigging stuff up to make it work for that back brake.
Gotta do it. We got Tony Alves moved into 5th place.
So now we've got some bubble positions going on here.
Danny Eslick, this guy is an absolute animal. Watch his riding style. You're gonna see the bike move around quite a bit underneath Danny. Eslick into 2nd.
Just like that.
Just like that.
I mean, basically, they don't start timing it until your 2nd lap, so right there. But how about Tyler Behrman still holding on to that best time right now? So now that we've had more than 12 riders go through this, Greg Duffy's currently holding on to that bubble transfer spot. It's the top 12 that get passed on into the main, so Aaron Guardado and Colby Raha now are going to have to go into that LCQ. So we're now in the meat and potatoes of things. As these times start getting better, we're going to see some of these guys getting bounced out, getting eclipsed from that top 12, and they're going to be looking at that leaderboard and saying, well, I got some work to do. I'm going to have to get out there and start rubbing elbows with some people if I want to get in that main.
Danny's got 1 more lap, but he's getting pretty close to Tyler's time. He's only 2/10 off. You know, I love this top view. You can really see what's going on the racetrack, but I'd love to see a closer view because the way Danny rides a motorcycle, it is entertaining.
It's interesting to me just to see how these guys go into the corners, and everyone's got a slightly different approach to it, and just how they navigate that, and it's the line that they take coming around.
It looks like Danny didn't pick up any time on that last lap, but looks like he was having fun.
took no time at all for him. I mean, he jumped right up to that number 2 spot. And again, just get part of the job done here. Just get yourself into that main event for now. You can worry about the rest later, but he is the second best time that we have seen thus far out here. And again, Greg Duffy is holding on to that number 12 transfer spot as of right now. So Colby Raha, Aaron Guardado, we'll see those guys in the LCQ. Here comes Frankie Garcia.
Frankie knows about pavement. Frankie's got quite a bit of experience in the asphalt.
Out of Gonzales, California, currently 3rd in points on the 2019 Super Hooligan National Championship Series.
I really like the way Frankie rides, too. He's got quite a bit of style. He likes to get the bike sideways. You can see him backing it in. Nice going into turn 1. Frankie's in the 3rd.
Just like that. So now who's going to get bumped out there? That's Duffy. Greg Duffy's going to slide out into LCQ contention now. So that puts Jared McNeil from Moto Quarterpipe earlier today, now sitting on that bubble spot.
You can see Frankie shaking his head a little bit. I mean, I love watching guys ride like Frankie rides. It might not always be the fastest way around the track, but to me, it's the most stylish. And there you go, man. Frankie, he's really backing it in nice. And I think he's still carrying quite a bit of corner speed as well. He didn't seem to be getting too out of shape.
There's the white flag, so he's got one more to go. Look at these power slides as he comes across the start-finish line.
You can see he's frustrated because he wants to get through there better. He's only he's 0.15 off of Tyler. He wants to be in that number 1 spot for sure.
It's just insane, the hustle navigating through those corners. You're turning left, you're turning right. This power slide there.
I think he dropped a 1/10 of a second there, or 100th of a second.
See him throwing that hand up right there.
Yep.
He looks a little unenthused by that performance right there. You said he maybe wanted a little bit more out of that.
He knows he could have done a little bit better. I think he's overriding the bike a little bit. But Frankie always likes to perform and put on a good show for the fans, and I really enjoy watching him ride. He wanted to be in that 1 spot, but we'll see.
Finished 4th overall in the point series for 2018. So here comes number 80. Frankie pulling into athletes there. Stevie Bonzi getting a little loose there.
Now Stevie Bonzi's he's an AFT flat tracker, pro twins rider. Frankie's the real. He's the real deal for sure, no doubt about it. Stevie's got a lot of time on flat track bikes, a lot of time in the asphalt. He's a Grand Prix rider, 125 and 250 Grand Prix bikes. He knows his way around the asphalt for sure.
Also competed in Supermoto at the X Games all the way back in 2009. Won the season opener at Daytona this year in the GNC 1 class as well.
And Bonzi's on an older model Indian Scout, and this is, Indian Scout, that's a street bike. That is a genuine street bike. Actually started life as a cruiser, and he's out there really pushing this bike to its limits. I don't think he can ride it much harder than he's riding it. We'll see. He's right. He's on the same bike Eslick's on.
He's in 4th as of right now. Jim Otlet now your spot.
There you go. Bonzi into 2nd. Moving past Garcia, I'll tell you, Frankie is going to be beside himself.
Wow, so he was in 4th, and then he jumps up to the 2nd best time right there, but Tyler Behrman still sits in pole as of right now.
We'll see. We got one more lap. Oh, I think Bonzi's running.
Oh, there he goes. He overtakes Tyler Behrman. We finally have a pole change right now.
Look at that.
Wow.
Stevie Bonzi taking over the number 1 spot with an 18.7.
It came down to that last lap right there.
I really like watching Bonzi ride too. He uses all the track. He uses all the bike. He's maximizing everything he can out of that Indian Scout 1200. I love watching him ride.
All right, as we welcome TJ Tucker onto the track for his Super Pole run. Let's check in one more time with Lorette.
Well, Jimmy, I have one of your good friends down here, Aaron Colton, stunt bike rider extraordinaire, and he's down here on his stunt bike, and he's going to come out here and do some qualifying. So there's a story behind this. Please tell everyone.
Yeah, so, we have a crash. So I have definitely done a big bit of racing background. When the Super Hooligan Series first came around, I was participating in it when Roland built the first fleet of the Indian Scouts. And it became one of those things. My schedule was so busy the last year or two, I haven't been able to really come around, but it happens to be that we're coming to this event, and my bike by nature qualifies for the rule. It's bigger than a 750 and it's more than 2 cylinders, so it qualifies for Super Hooligan, and I fast timed this morning. I'm not going to be racing this afternoon, but I definitely want to do the Super Pole to see where the times stack up throughout the day.
That is so fun, and the reason he's not racing is because he's not going to change his tires. The tires on his bike, on your bike is...
Yeah, by the rules, you have to run a spec tire for this class. I just didn't have the time or resources between the freestyle demos all day to make that happen, so I'm just out here having a good time sliding around.
So much fun. So maybe next year, is this something?
Yeah, next year, maybe if I bring another man with me to help me on the wrenching, I'll get after it. But it was going to stretch me thin today, so hopefully next year I'll be able to do double duty.
Okay, well, Aaron Colton's been out here all day long doing demos. Thank you so much for your time, Aaron.
Thank you, guys. It's been an awesome event.
Jimmy, guys.
Well, I learned something new today because I've been doing demos with Aaron for years, and I did not know that. I did not know that he came from a racing background. Oh, my goodness. TJ Tucker.
There we go.
Getting loosey-goosey right there and getting tossed.
Full hooligan style right there.
What happened right there? Oh, that was a hard slap to the right shoulder.
He held on to the bitter end, though. There we go. You're getting Western. We call that getting Western.
Looked like he was going to save it right there, and then that front wheel just bit a little deep, and that was it. So TJ Tucker bouncing right there, taking a look into the athlete staging area there. Travis Pastrana getting ready to get into the mix here. You saw him in the Rallycross earlier today, trying to get out here.
You know, I think
into the flat track mix.
I think it's pretty cool that Travis is, Travis knows Joe Kopp. Joe Kopp doesn't know that Travis Pastrana knows who he is.
It was like a little kid's response. Like, yeah, I know who you are.
Yeah, I know who you are. I mean, Joe Kopp's a legend. He's a multi-time Grand National flat track champion. He's been racing for,
It just goes to show you, though, it doesn't matter where you fall into the microcosm of all this. Doesn't skateboarder, BMXer, flat track racer, surfer, snowboarder. You never know. You come to the mix, and you never know who you've inspired in your career.
And you never know who you're going to light up against in Super Hooligan racing.
This is true. When I came into this event, I did not think that Tyler and Travis, well, Tyler I thought for sure, but like Travis, and I didn't think I'd see Jared McNeil out there. I definitely didn't think I'd see Curtis Downs out there. And how about Curtis? I mean, what a performance did he put on out there?
Oh, yeah, he's getting after it.
He's sitting in 9th as of right now. He's still in this top 12.
And you got Colby Raha. I mean, the guy goes out and shredding.
Colby's another one of those guys, going back to what you were talking about just natural bike skills. I mean, that guy can do it all. It doesn't matter if it's pedal or motorized. I mean, he's an amazing BMX rider as well.
Yeah.
Quite a talented skateboarder. I mean, you just see it in anything that guy does. Anything he touches is like Midas gold. It's amazing. He just got good style, good control.
I think if Colby was out here on a different motorcycle than that Suzuki two-stroke triple, I think we would have saw his times be quite a bit better. That bike's a little difficult to ride, especially if you don't have much time on it.
So Tyler Berriman working double duty out here, competing in Moto Quarterpipe earlier, now out here at Super Hooligan Flat Track. He currently sits with the second best time here in Super Pole. Let's learn a little bit more about him right now.
My name's Tyler Berriman from Templeton, California originally. I'm competing in Moto X Quarterpipe and Hooligan Flat Track racing. I really enjoy flat track just because it's like the grassroots of motorcycle racing. It's the first form of motorcycle racing. I was born into it. My dad raced until 2004, I believe. I went to all the races with him. Now here we are, fast forward, 10, 15 years later, and I'm able to race my pops and do these things again, and we're racing a lot bigger bikes with a lot more consequence, so it puts the fun back in it. My strategy is to get the whole shot and keep the carnage behind me. It's 500-pound bikes, and we're banging bars out there, so if you get the whole shot and stay out of the carnage, it's definitely going to be key.
Probably my favorite line of that whole piece right there is get out to the front, stay out of the carnage right there, and that is what you want to do, because once we get into this LCQ and once we get into this final race, there's not going to be a lot of real estate to work with out here. A little bit of course maintenance going on out here as we saw TJ Tucker take a little bit of a spill right there, so just trying to clean up some of the loose stuff right here. And as these crew members are tending to the track right here, let's talk a little bit more about it right here. Let's take a look at our course preview and see what these riders are working with out here tonight in the Super Pole, leading towards our Super Hooligan Flat Track Final.
Introducing Flat Track to Nitro World Games. Let's talk about the race course. Hot asphalt track. It's different than what we're usually running. We run all over the country, but we're in the middle of the desert right now. The track is going to be 6 guys across, all going to take off. They're going to go into a big sweeping left-hander. As they come around that left-hander, there's going to be a right-hand kink that they're going to have to navigate through and apex through that thing as quick as possible. So they'll get through that little right-hand kink down the back straightaway and then go into another big broad sweeper into front straightaway. And then they come back into this kind of narrow first corner again. They're going to have to gather it up. The faster you're trying to go, the more mistakes you could possibly make, you'll get passed by the next guy. Every time we race on pavement, it levels the playing field. You never know. It's anybody's day. It's all who can put together a good fast lap.
Yeah, that little part in the back straightaway there where you're dipping one direction then quickly adjusting to go the other direction before you get into that last sweeper, as he called it right there. That's we've seen some interesting moves go down earlier today there in that part of the course in the qualifying or the time trials portion of things.
Yeah, that little section, I mean, when you come through that right-hander, you're really putting a lot of weight on that front wheel, and then you got to make that transfer. You're getting all that weight transfer from the back to the front tire. You got to watch yourself going into the corner because you could potentially tuck the front tire, you know, and transferring, getting back on the gas, try and get some weight back on the rear tire. And maybe that's what happened, you know, to who was that fell down?
That was T.J. Tucker.
T.J. Tucker, yeah. He
out of Ogden, Utah, so this was almost a home show for him, number 39. Taking a little slide out there. He took quite a bounce. He got up and walked away. I mean, he seemed to be all right. No worse for the wear after that one.
Yeah, I mean, in a home show, he's putting on a good show for us as well.
You know, when you see that stuff at real-time speed, it's gnarly enough. But then when you see it in slow-mo, you're just like, ah.
Yeah.
The shoulder bounce, and then your head just kind of does the whiplash thing. You're like, ah. It just hurts sitting up here in the booth.
It looked like he saved his head with his shoulder, though.
Yeah, it kind of tucked into that a little bit. But again, you get that hard slap where you just get your entire side thrown to. Yeah. It doesn't feel any better if it's on dirt, snow. It doesn't matter. It all just sucks. But you know, he got up and shrugged his shoulders, and you know, he got up right away.
Yeah. He might have a little road rash, maybe a touch.
Yeah, I can't imagine what this is like after being out here in the sun all day long, this asphalt just cooking in the heat. So while these guys are tending to the track here and we're waiting to get back into racing, let's take a look back to earlier today and see how things went down in Nitro Rallycross.
Got an oil spill.
This is it, folks. Nitro Rallycross from Nitro World Games here in Utah. Lights are red. We're waiting for the green. Boom, here we go.
Oh, Hansen's got left behind on the line. Timmy Hansen's gone absolutely backwards. Maybe got a problem. Kevin Hansen got round Sandell into turn 1. Up the inside, that's Ken Block managed to get. Ken Block's going on the tight line. Timmy Hansen's gone up the inside of Ken. We've got 3 cars that have gone with the low tabletop on that one. Sideways into the Timmy's door. Tanner Faust is in the mix there as well. So I think it's Timmy, Tanner and Ken have gone low. Ken up the inside of Tanner.
Wow, look at that tabletop, and Ken absolutely collected the water barriers there going in, but look at this.
He's back up the inside of Timmy in the background, and now Tanner's gone through as well, so Timmy Hansen has gone P6, P3, P6 test in 4 corners.
And we're talking about the guys in the back. Meanwhile, Kevin Hansen, Travis Pastrana, Patrick Sandell are top 3. This is definitely not disappointing.
I knew those guys would go for the inside lines because they're going to lose time. They have to go over that tabletop on the first one of the laps. We knew they would lose a bit of time, but they will have calculated the others were losing time with contact. And actually, Tess, I think these 3 guys will have lost more time with the battling they had from turn 2 all the way through to the banking after the tabletop.
So still an insanely close race as we come across the line after the very first lap. And you see now how exciting this thing is. Let's see who chooses to go where. Oh!
So Travis has gone down to the low tabletop. So Travis is taking his tabletop lap now, and that's a great shout because the guys behind were held up with that battling. So look for Pastrana on the merge. Block's coming over the big jump now, and in the background, Timmy Hansen's gone Joker. So did Block get through? Yeah, Block got Pastrana, so Pastrana didn't manage to get past Ken.
Oh, Pastrana slowed a little coming through that corner. He did not get past Ken, but we now have 4 of the 6 that have taken that tabletop route, and Timmy has taken
the Joker, he was in the back, so really it was the smartest move to make.
He got a dreadful start. There was something wrong with that car or something wrong with his settings when he left the line. It just didn't work out. At the minute, it's two sweets up front, Kevin Hansen and Patrick Sandell. A bit of damage to the front of Ken's car. That shows you how hard they were trying in that first lap.
So remember...
Oh, foul sideways, nearly in the wall, Tess, off the tabletop jump. Into the first corner, Ken Block around. Where's he going to go this time? He goes for the deep line. Pastrana's going with him. Kevin Hansen heading up for the big jump, and Patrick Sandell going with him. So these are the two we need to kind of look at the gap for. Look, Kevin Hansen, Patrick Sandell have got 4.8 over Ken Block, so they've got enough time to take the Joker, but neither of those two guys have taken the tabletop yet, Tess. There's a penalty for that. Faust Joker.
Faust is in the Joker, so now we've got 2 out of the 6 that have already jokered. And here's Travis working on Ken Block again. We've seen him pass Ken in the most bizarre of places.
So Kevin Hansen with a little gap of 1.5 over Sandell. Sandell looks to me like he's closed that down a little bit, Tess, on this last lap. So let's see what it is. Look at Sandell scrambling for grip over that crest. Flies the Subaru. I think the gap's come down, but I might be wrong.
I think Ken is holding up Travis, because Travis is just trying to...
Ken's got a puncture. Front right tyres off the rim. Sorry, Tess, just saw it as he flew up over that jump.
So here we go, Travis is going to get past him, and you saw that was all shredded up from earlier contact anyway, so that's a disaster for Ken Block. He's going to keep going, but he is out of contention in this race. Timmy Hansen going for the jump again, and Patrick Sandell breaks for the Joker.
So Sandell's gone Joker. He did bring the gap down over Kevin by 0.3 of a second, so Sandell had closed down a little bit on Kevin Hansen, decided to go Joker. I wonder if that's to cover off someone behind him. But yeah, no, you see Pastrana's behind him, and Pastrana has the Joker, so okay, this is going to be Sandell versus Kevin Hansen, I think, but of course they've got the tabletop still to do, Tess. And we're not sure how much the tabletop costs. The teams are telling us between 0.7 and 2 seconds. Ken Block, if he denied, he's going to be gutted. So Ken Block, still Ken Block with the front right tyre off the rim. Kevin Hansen just cases the jump on the way down. Here comes Sandell. So Kevin now with a significant gap. Kevin Hansen hasn't jokered or done the tabletop.
Yeah, so he still has time to lose. Back to Sandell, there's 5 seconds, so that's actually a pretty big margin, but he's probably going to lose 5 to 7 seconds.
Kevin's gone tabletop, Tess. Here goes Kevin over the tabletop.
Okay, let's see where he comes out. Who flies over him? Should be Patrick Sandell that we're looking for.
Yeah, Sandell's jokered, remember, but I think hasn't taken the tabletop. Kevin's taken the tabletop, but hasn't
Patrick
jokered.
Sandell going to come in there, so we see the margin. Now we know that Kevin Hansen has to go and take that Joker, which is going to cost him about 4 seconds. So what we're looking at now is when they come across the line, what's the margin? Hansen to Sandell.
Indeed, there you can see left-hand side of your screen who hasn't taken the Joker. So Pastrana hasn't, and Kevin Hansen out front hasn't. Kevin Hansen has just put in a super tidy lap test. He's running the car out wide. Yeah, the gap was 5.1, but we're waiting to see what it is now and whether or not Kevin goes Joker. So
he has to. This is it. He has to take the Yokohama Joker right now because he has to take it in this race. It's a rule, so...
He's deep in turn 1, so Kevin Hansen going to split right now. On the inside, Patrick Sandell's going to the tabletop. So both these guys now, they're taking the alternate lines. This could be for the win. Kevin Hansen dips into the Joker. Watch for Patrick Sandell. Coming up over the tabletop. You're looking for the merge on the exit.
Oh, wow, this is going to be close. Oh, and Hansen got him.
Kevin Hansen with a great lap. It was a super tight lap before. Travis Pastrana in the background has taken the Joker lap. So I think it's Pastrana is in the third place now.
We've got, I think everybody now has taken both the tabletop and the Yokohama Joker. So now it's just a battle right now. We know you can pass on this turn.
It's now or never for Sandell. Maybe have a look up the inside. Kevin Hansen goes defensive. Sandell's going to go over under. Sandell going to try and undercut him on the exit. Oh, it's going to be so close.
No, just not enough space. I don't think it'll work. Kevin Hansen is going to win your 2019 Nitro Rallycross, and I think with this altitude, Andrew, we are going to need some oxygen.
That's another Hansen name on the trophy. Timmy Hansen won it last year. Kevin Hansen wins it this year. So fantastic performance by the brothers. And Kevin will be absolutely over the moon. He was so excited to come here and do the big jump. He's come here and taken the big trophy test.
And we're looking at the results here, and I thought it was Travis, but it may have actually been the other Peugeot of Timmy Hansen in third. We're going to have to check this. So I saw the Red Bull logo, thought it might have been Travis.
Yeah.
Could this be right? Both Hansens
on the podium.
It's
all
the Swedish.
It's, yeah, an all Swedish podium, yeah. Sandell, he's happy with P2. He'd be disappointed not to have taken the win. I'm looking forward to seeing a restart, a replay of the start test as well, because Kevin got the whole shot, and basically from there, you know, he won from the start. You know, it was lights to flag, and they tried. Their tactics were completely different. You know, they went to the Joker on a different lap. They went to the Tableton on a different lap. Brilliant.
Oh man. And you look at this, obviously we haven't got the officials from race control, but Patrick Sandell, what a fantastic weekend he had. Great guy. I love spending time with that guy. He's so much fun. But Kevin Hansen, 21-year-old Swede, comes in here.
Youngest driver in the field.
And beats his brother. That's probably the biggest thing for him.
Oh, there's Timmy on the roof of Kevin's car. Yeah, I mean, these two guys, they get on so well. It is a
Thought those guys were going to take each other out right there, jumping off the roof of the car. Kevin Hansen getting the win. That was earlier today here at Nitro World Games 2019 out here at the Utah Motorsports Campus. But right now, we are in the middle of Super Hooligan Flat Track Racing. This is the Super Pole. We've been getting the riders out here on the course one at a time, and basically they get 4 laps. The best lap, your best time lap, I should say, the best 12 times are going to automatically move on into that main event, and anybody else that's left after that, you're going to go into the last chance qualifier. We had a little course hold right there because TJ Tucker took a bit of a spill. This is AJ Kirkpatrick out on track right now out of Salinas, California.
Yeah, AJ Kirkpatrick, number 12, he's on an FTR 1200. And AJ has a tremendous amount of experience actually in race cars and sprint cars. So it's great to see him out here on a motorcycle. AJ has as good a time as anybody riding. And we'll see how he's going to navigate that little oil spill we had on the racetrack.
So you're saying racing's in the blood for Mr. Kirkpatrick. Finished 6th last year in the Super Hooligan National Championship Series. He's currently ranked 7th on the 2019 standings as of right now. And he's already into that number 5 spot right now as far as overall times that we've seen so far. Stevie Bonzi in that pole spot. It was Tyler Behrman for most of the opening part of this Super Pole, but now Stevie Bonzi sits in that pole spot.
Yeah, AJ's going to go out there and try and put a fast lap down. He's getting a little bit of front tire chatter, and that'll set you back a little bit when you can't trust the front like you want to trust the front. With these Dunlop flat track tires, man, they're not made for the asphalt, but they work on the asphalt. And that's part of the way these guys are getting so sideways, you know?
Well, right now he's just got to get one part of the work done, and that is get yourself into that main. And on that last lap, he's going to get the 3rd best time. So it's Bonzi, Behrman, Kirkpatrick, your 3 best times as of right now. Craig Reynolds is on the bubble spot as of right now for our 12 best times. Jim Otlet just got slid out to 13th, so he's going to have to go into that LCQ as we have 4 more riders left to go here.
We got our top 5 all within.
Excuse me, 5. I forgot about Travis Pastrana.
Yeah, but Travis Pastrana's coming out. We got our top 5 are all within 3/10, so it's a pretty close one right now.
So Jimmy Hill for his first attempt out here on the Super Pole. However, it is the 2nd attempt for his bike because he had to loan that one out earlier.
Yeah, he stole his bike back from Tyler. They're going to have a fist fight to see who's going to actually get to race it.
Yeah, if Tyler can't get his bike all fixed up, then what happens? Are they going to rock, paper, scissors for this going into the main? We'll have to wait and see.
Jimmy may have seniority since it's his machine, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Top qualifier.
We'll have to see how Utah law holds up on that one right there. Yeah. Jimmy Hill already into the 6th, already into the number 6 spot right there. 6th best time, I should say.
Jimmy Hill's one of I think the most creative freestyle riders that's out there. Not only does he play piano as well as just about anybody but I know, but he can ride a dirt bike too.
Besting his time there. It was the 6th best time. Now he's up into the 5th best time as of right now. Participated in the Hooligan Flat Track races at X Games Minneapolis the last 2 years. He's currently ranked in the top 10 right now in the Super Hooligan National Championship Point Series. Which this race, by the way,
there you go, Jimmy Hill.
He takes the pole spot.
Take the pole spot with an 18.6. You know, last time we did Super Pole, Jimmy fell down on the warm-up lap. So I think he's trying to make up for that right now.
A little bit of redemption there?
A little bit of redemption.
You fall down on the warm-up lap, and then you come back, and you end up in the number 1 spot. The best time as of right now, with 4 riders left to go here.
Jimmy Hill on that Indian FTR 1200 taking the number 1 spot. And what do we got? We got 5 guys left, 6 guys?
I think we're down to 4 now. We've got Jordan Graham, then Joe Kopp, Andy DeBrino, and then I believe it's Travis Pastrana. Jimmy actually bettered his time on that last lap, by the way.
An 18.5. There we go. This is Jordan Graham, number 47. He's also on an Indian FTR 1200.
We're getting close to our best times that we saw earlier today in the qualifying round, but look out, here comes Los Alamos, California's Jordan Graham. Ranked 4th in the 2019 point series as of right now, finished 5th overall the last 2 years in the Super Hooligan National Champ Series.
Jordan's an incredibly consistent rider. He likes to push too. He likes to get the bike sideways. He likes to throw it in. And
just likes to get into the corners with reckless abandon is what you're telling me?
Reckless abandon. He doesn't like it when the wheels are in line. He likes it when they're out of line.
So he's already up in the 6th best time here early on. Again, it's 4 laps. First lap's not time. That's just to open things up, get it hot, and then after that, they take your best time out of laps 2, 3, 4. Curtis Downs, our BMX buddy, in the bubble spot as of right now, sitting in that number 12 transfer spot.
Jordan Graham was one of our earlier heat race winners, and he was in that dash for cash. So he was definitely one of the top 4 fastest guys on the track earlier today.
Well, now he's moved up into the 2nd best time out here.
There we go,
0.03 second differential between him and Jimmy Hill right now. So things are starting to heat up in the bottom part of the pack.
Our top 6 are all in the 18s, mid to high 18s. There we go, Jordan, get it in there. Jordan Graham.
Jordan now is in that pole spot, so it's now Graham, Hill, Bonesy, Berriman, your 1, 2, 3, 4.
So our top 1, 2, 3, well, we got Graham, Hill, Bonzi, Berriman, Kirkpatrick, all on Indians. Our top 5 bikes are Indians.
Indians are making a case for themselves right now in the Super Pole, trying to get into the main. Here we go, Joe Kopp. Number 3, your 2019 Super Hooligan National Champion points leader.
I'd say that Joe Kopp is going to put a dent in that Indian sweep of the top 5 right now.
He's out there on the Harley Davidson XG 750, I believe.
So Joe's a past Grand National Champion, and he got in there way hot. That's not going to do his lap time any good, although he did move into 3rd.
Already up to 3rd best lap time, so there goes Curtis Downs. That means Tony Alves is going to be on the bubble as of right now, so Curtis is going to have to go into that LCQ. We'll have to see how that license plate and headlight hold up there in the LCQ for Curtis.
Now, Joe's a little concerned with his front end. He had a little bit of tire shake earlier. I know he made some modifications. I think he added some air pressure. Kind of probably he messed with the rebound a little bit, trying to get that thing not to head shake so bad going into the corners. He wants to get that confidence. He wants to get the thing moving.
Only a 0.05 second differential between him and Jimmy Hill, or excuse me, I believe that's from the lead time.
We got 0.05. Kopp is going to have to lay it down here if he wants to get.
Oh, and he does on that last lap. He gets up. Wow, so the pole changes again. Joe Kopp. So now it's Kopp, Graham, Hill, and Bonesy. Your 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Berriman rounds out the top 5 here.
Joe Kopp spoiling the Indian show.
Well, you called it. And he gets it done. It's like he was listening to us, and he said, oh, wait, last lap, we'll shake things up a little bit. There you go.
Yep.
Joe Kopp.
If there's a guy out here that knows how to qualify, it's Joe Kopp. And look at that.
Andy DeBrino.
Right off the bat, just sending it into turn 1.
Your best time out of qualifying earlier today.
Now, DeBrino, he's won the past 2 Super Hooligan Championships. So, you know, obviously he's a contender. He's on arguably one of the better bikes out there, one of the best bikes out there. So he's going to put in some work right now. He's going to want to move into that number 1 spot as quickly as possible.
He's in the number 4 spot as of right now. In addition to winning the last 2 years of the Super Hooligan National Champs, he's currently ranked number 2 on the overall points race. And this, even though it's the first time we've done Super Hooligan Flat Track out here at Nitro World Games, this is part of the 2019 overall National Championships points.
He is pushing that bike. The wheels are rarely in line with Andy. And
he's overtaken Super Pole now.
Oh, there we go.
Just like that, 18.31 seconds, which oddly enough is not better. His time earlier today, he had an 18.17.
The track might be a little hotter than it was earlier. You know, changing track temperature sometimes change your times. We'll see what he does on this last lap.
18.31 right there for Andy DeBrino with one rider left to go here in the Super Bowl. Stace Richmond is the bubble spot there. Tony Alves gets bumped out into 13th, so he is going to go into that last chance qualifier. That one's going to be a bit messy there. That's a 6-lap race, but here you go.
Travis,
what do you think this guy's chances are? Number 199. You've already seen him in Rallycross out here today. Here he comes bounding up to the track here.
He's got the bike, he's got an Indian FTR 1200, and we got, you know, 4 of those in the top, or 3 of those in the top 5 right now. I think he's got a chance, you know, outside of the fact I think he's only got 3 or 4 laps of practice. So this is...
oh,
jeez.
Oh, getting a little loose right there. One thing I've learned over the years with Travis is never say never.
Oh, I just want him to make it around the track 4 times right now. Lay down a fast lap. This motorcycle he's riding, this thing's... It's a pretty radical bike. There's a lot of horsepower going on this small track, I'll tell you that much. Oh, wow.
Getting scary right there. Watch him get a little loose there. He's 2 spots out as of right now. If he doesn't make it, he's still going to have to go. He still has a chance in the LCQ. So when you see those guys start to swab out and get a loose like that, what is going on there? What's happening to cause that? Oh, and Travis is in now. He's in 10th.
There we go. Travis Pastrana into the main event. I mean, he's probably just being a little aggressive on the throttle. Not a lot of adjustment or tweaks going on with the bike. The bike's moving around quite a bit on him.
Oh, and almost off to the side there.
Oh, yeah, this thing...
The front end came up a little bit.
This bike does not want Travis on it, I'll tell you that. It is trying to pitch him off. Oh, wow.
Like an angry horse at the rodeo. It's trying to throw him at every chance it gets.
You know, he rode the triple the same way, so watching him ride this 4-stroke, I thought it was the bike. Maybe it's just Travis's throttle hand.
It's technique. Maybe
whoa!
Hit the brakes, everybody. Almost had a redo of what happened after the Dunlop Dash for Cash earlier today.
There we go. Travis Pastrana into 10th place. He's in the main. And we got a 19.2. Not too shabby. He's less than a second off of your pole sitter, Andy DeBrino.
Well, this is going to be interesting because now we've seen everyone's different styles and how they handle the track individually. That is going to change greatly. The entire dynamic is about to get a lot crazier out here because now you're going to have to contend with other bikes and other bodies into the mix. Well, oh, Aaron Colton's going to give it a run.
I think we got a cheater.
He's just going to have a fun lap because he was saying that he didn't have the proper tires to be out here to qualify for the event. But Aaron Colton getting out here and getting loose.
This is actually a super hooligan legal machine. The difference being that Aaron's got 17-inch road race wheels and tires on the bike versus 19s, which are flat track tires in your Dunlop flat track.
This is a completely different display of skills from what I'm used to seeing out of Mr. Colton here. I spent a lot of time over the years doing Red Bull demos with him, but look at him go in the corners.
Yeah, he's road racing that thing, no doubt about it. You know, Aaron's style, he loves to get sideways. You've seen him pitch that thing sideways anytime he gets an opportunity. You know, I mean, it looks like Nicky Hayden out there on that thing.
He just looks completely in control, and hey, having a little fun with some freestyle skills out there as well.
You know, it wouldn't be a lap from Aaron Colton unless he's got the front wheel in the air and the thing sideways.
Yeah, just such a good guy and just having a good time out there, traveling the country, traveling the world, going out there and putting on some shows. He's got a pretty crazy little van setup too that he travels around the country, and a little custom job that he's got in his rig.
Ask him about his 9mm socket.
All right.
So Andy DeBrino.
I'll have to go stop by the pits after this and be like, all right, Aaron.
Andy DeBrino in the #1 spot. Aaron Colton in 2nd. We got Joe Kopp, Grand National Champion, in 3rd. Jordan Graham's he's a fighter. And he's a... Aaron Colton with the second fastest lap time.
Yeah, second fastest lap time.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's going to have to get another mechanic in the mix, and he's going to have to bring some extra tires next year.
Yep.
And get into the mix there, Mr. Colton. So after Jordan Graham, you got Jimmy Hill, Steve Bonzi, Tyler Berriman, AJ Kirkpatrick, Frankie Garcia, Danny Eslick. Travis Pastrana makes it into the mix, and Tony Tucker rounds out the top 12. Those guys are all going to get a pass into the main event. However, we are not done yet. We've got the LCQ. We're going to give everybody that did make it the top 12 one more shot in the last chance qualifier. But how about number 199 getting out there, putting in some work and making his way into the main.
Oh, wow. You know, I have not seen a motorcycle look like that in a very long time, and the last time was Daytona with Travis Pastrana.
He almost got thrown straight off of that thing.
I think we got to turn some screws on that bike for Travis and try and get it calmed down. He's, you know, coming off a rallycross, I think he's still thinking four wheels. He's got two. Oh, he's dragging the right foot peg on the ground.
He's thinking about taking the Joker. He's still got his mind wrapped around rallycross, like you said.
Yeah.
Either way, who cares what's going through his mind? It's a heck of a lot of fun to watch.
And he is in the main event.
Yeah, and he's in the main event. So
in the main event.
I mean, you couldn't script this any better. He comes over here last minute, gets an interview with Lorette. Has to go as one of the last riders. See, I did see that in real-time speed. The front end did come up. I was like, did my eyes deceive me, or did I just see a little bit of daylight between the pavement and that front wheel?
I am just in awe of Travis's riding style. He is dragging that right foot peg so bad. That thing's still got a flat track right foot peg on it. This is a bike that S&S built. It's an Indian FTR 1200, and really this thing is set up for going left right now. And Travis is making it go right and doing a pretty good job.
That's just the way Travis is. It doesn't matter what he's on. If it's got two wheels or four, he's going to make it do whatever he wants to do. There's no telling that guy no. If he gets an idea in his head, it's going to come to fruition somehow, some way, but that's just the spirit of TP. Andy DeBrino, your top qualifier time-wise, followed by Joe Kopp, Jordan Graham, Jimmy Hill, Steve Bonzi, and Tyler Berriman. And then rounding out our bottom 12, it's AJ Kirkpatrick, Frankie Garcia, Danny Eslick. TP gets in there in 10th, Tony Tucker, and then Josh Slay hangs on to that 12th and final transfer spot. These names right here, Richmond, Alvis, Downs, Mosley, Reynolds, Otlet, those gents are going to have to go into the LCQ. Joined by Jared McNeil, Greg Duffy, Aaron Guardado, Colby Raha. And I don't think we're going to see TJ Tucker after that spill that he took earlier.
Yeah, he might be using some Bactine on that chest, I think, maybe.
So the LCQ. Here we go. You've seen them all out there individually. Now we're going to add some extra bodies into the mix. And, well, that's going to lessen the amount of real estate that you have to work with out there on this track. And it's going to be a 6-lap race here in the LCQ. What kind of carnage can we look to possibly see here in this LCQ, Roland?
You know, hopefully we're not going to see any carnage, but these guys are going for the last spot in the main event. It's really the LCQ, anything goes. You know,
that's kind of the mantra of all of this. So, I mean, that's that's the basis behind Nitro World Games as a whole. Anything goes, progression, anything goes. I mean, getting out there and sending it and having some fun. Only one guy gets out of this. It's winner take all going into that main event.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it so exciting. You know, all these guys want to be in the main event, and they're gonna give it their all. You know, you got Tony Alves out there. That guy's a bulldog, absolute bulldog. Stace Richmond, you know, Stace. I think Stace should be in the main. I would actually give Stace a pretty good chance of making it into the main event.
I mean, he was right there. He just wasn't able to hang on in the very end. So we will have to see. He did very well in the qualifying earlier today. Curtis, I was impressed with Curtis Downs' performance that we saw earlier on. Curtis was up there, high up in the mix for quite a while.
JD Mosley's a racer. And sometimes in qualifying, you don't get the heat to get you to push as hard as you need to push in qualifying. JD may potentially have a chance if he can go out there and lay it down and get to racing.
So here we go, making their way out onto the track here. These guys are going to rack up here, and once we drop that green flag, it is 6 laps. That is it, and winner take all. Only one person transfers on into that main event. That's what is up for grabs here, at stake, if you will, here in the last chance qualifier.
And we got quite a few first-time Super Hooligan racers in the mix. I don't believe Colby Raha or Greg Duffy or Jared McNeil have raced. Did Jared race earlier?
Yeah, he went out there. Oh, no, Jared was just out there in the Super Bowl, but he didn't get out earlier in the qualifying today.
So this is going to be the first race for those guys.
Yeah, to see these guys and how they stack up out there in traffic with other riders on course is going to be an interesting one to watch.
On an asphalt TT. Their first time racing an asphalt TT.
Oh, boy.
I hope those tires are hot.
So I'm assuming that they line up in lane selection here based off of their times from Super Pole. So we're going to have 2 rows going here.
I thought they were putting 6 in the first row, but it looks like we only got 4. 10 guys on the track. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a battle royal, I'll tell you.
Yeah, this one is going to
fight to the finish.
This is going to be one to definitely go into the highlight reel.
JD Mosley with that outside spot on that Harley Davidson. I know he's going to try and get the jump on everybody. We'll see what he can do. Stace is on the inside. I would definitely pick the inside line for this track. You want to be in that. You want to be on that inside spot. You want to be in that pole spot. You want to be the first one in that first corner, no doubt about it.
So now that you've got other bodies to contend with out there, obviously the whole shot's key, but after they get out of that first turn, what happens? How's the strategy unfold when you're trying to make passes, trying to get up there and overtake the rider in front of you?
You know, you really want to concentrate on getting a good drive. You don't want to rush it going into the corner. Yeah, maybe a little jump, or we'll see if they call that one.
He gets out to the early lead right there. He's followed by number 26, that's Stace Richmond, nipping on his heels right there. And then number 39. Got some tight grouping right there. 176 rounding out the pack for the top 4. But again, only one gets on into that final. Oh, we got a rider down.
Oh, we got somebody else collecting him. Who was that?
That was 176.
We may get a red flag here if those bikes are not off the track. We got a lot of dirt, a lot of dust. That was the Suzuki. So was that Colby?
That's Greg Duffy right there. Oh, it was Greg Duffy that went down.
Greg Duffy went down on the Suzuki. Water Buffalo on the 2-stroke hit the ground. Looks like he's okay.
Good to see that he's back up.
Yeah, might be able to keep riding that bike. Let's get a quick replay here. Oh!
Did you see his left foot?
God.
He dabbed that left foot.
Oh!
And then the bike caught up to him and he got tangled up in that. He got snake bit by that thing. He's off right here. And then it just bounced.
He's got a motocross pile up there on the outside of the track. We got some real flat tracking going on around him, though. Those guys did a good job of avoiding it.
I was going to say, good on the other gents right there, getting away from him to get out of the way to not run him over. Do you see that left leg when he dabbed it on that inside turn, though? That was, So we'll see how we get off the line here to start. You've got Stace Richmond on the inside right there. You got Tony Alves out there next to him.
There's one guarantee when you get out here, these hooligans will get hooligan. They will get sideways. There will be a few people going down.
Well, we've seen one of those go down already. I think Greg Duffy's okay.
Oh, wow.
Got up and walked away under his own power.
That was a wild wheelie right there. That thing was sideways. Got
39 out to that.
It's Stace Richmond in second, Tony Alves in third, and the number 39.
Oh, that's Tucker. That's TJ Tucker.
There we go. TJ Tucker, our earlier crasher. Oh, TJ Tucker goes down again. Wow. TJ Tucker can't seem to keep that thing upright.
I didn't think he was going to make it back into this, but there he is, and he goes down a second time. He gets the bike off the track.
Looks like they're going to keep running this thing.
Yeah, they're going to let him keep rolling.
Yeah, he got that thing off the track.
So it's Richmond out to the lead here. Again, this is a 6-lap race right here. Winner goes on into the main event to make a 13-man final. However, he's got some company right there. You got Tony Alves trying to catch up to him, trying to press the issue. We're on lap 4 out of 6 here in the last chance qualifier, and those two out to a sizable lead.
Tony Alves is not going to give up, but Stace seems to be moving pretty well. He's moving through that left-hander really well. It looks like the gap's about staying even.
So here we go. Can Tony catch up to him, gain up some ground right here? Stace looks to be in control right now. You don't want to have any mental slip-ups here, so as they come across, the white flag is going to be out. This is going to be the last lap. This is to earn the right to get that last spot in the main event. Look how close they are. Is he going to make a move on the inside line? No, he's not able. Stace cuts him off.
Tony trying to get the drive out of the corner, trying to get by him.
Trying to take him on the inside.
Oh, Tony on the inside. Come on, buddy. One more lap to go.
I jumped the gun on that. Now the white flag's out. Here we go. Now we're on lap 5 or lap 6 out of 6. Here we go. Can he make another move? Can he press the issue yet again?
We got Stace. He's really protecting that inside line from Alves. Alves trying to put it in there. They're both running really protective lines.
Coming around that last turn, Checkered is out, and it's going to be Stace Richmond gets across. He had to put in some work to stave off Alves, but man, how about the close quarters those guys were running there for a little while, trying to take him on the inside, then trying to change it up, take him on the outside, and every time Stace cut him off and maintained that lead.
Alves out in the dirt on that last lap, using every inch of the racetrack, trying to catch up with Stace. But Stace Richmond is going to take that 13th spot in the main event.
Whew. That one got exciting right there.
There's a couple spills in that one.
Yeah, hopefully Greg Duffy's all right. I mean, he got augered in pretty good on that one, but he did seem to be back up pretty quickly right there. So hopefully he is okay. And TJ Tucker taking yet another bounce out here today. Hopefully he is all right as well. But how about the performance by Stace Richmond?
You know, it's great to see Stace make some main events. I mean, a lot of these events, it's definitely hard to make the main. We got 40-plus guys out occasionally, and you know, you see these guys come out and they don't get to make the main event. They got to put it in the trailer. Really, really like seeing Stace get out here and make a main event.
So here we go. The final is set to get underway. They're coming out for the parade lap, but let's take a look back and take another look at the last chance qualifier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was Duffy getting stacked up again, getting tagged by that bike twice.
He did get collected there, but seemed to escape without too much injury. He might have a little limp tonight.
That was TJ Tucker out of Ogden, Utah, taking his second slide out of the night. Alves gave a bit of a fight right there, but when it was all said and done, it was Richmond walking away and claiming that 13th and final spot going into the final. Now, as we look towards this final, how is this going to look with 13 bodies and bikes out there on that track?
It's going to get aggressive for sure. It is definitely going to get aggressive. You know, the main events, I mean, these guys have been busting their butts all day to make it to this main event. They want to get into that first corner first.
So you got Joe Kopp, Jordan Graham, Jimmy Hill, Steve Bonzi, Tyler Berriman, AJ Kirkpatrick. Your top six right there. With Frankie Garcia, Danny Eslick, Travis Pastrana, Tony Tucker, Josh Slay, and Andy DeBrino. And then, of course, you got Stace Richmond. So you got 3 rows going here. You got 6, 6, and 1. So this is going to be all-out carnage here as they move into that first turn right there, and they are going to be bumping bars and fighting for every bit of real estate. We double the lap time here for what we saw in the LCQ. It's a 12-lap final here. First time we've ever seen Super Hooligan Flat Track out here at Nitro World Games. And that is DeBrino out to the lead here to get it started.
Oh, Tyler Berriman looks like he is out of the race early. See what happened to Tyler. That did not look good. I know he was looking for a top 3 position. He qualified so well. Andy DeBrino with the early lead. We got Joe Kopp behind him, Jordan Graham, Stevie Bonzi in 4th place, Jimmy Hill in 5th, Frankie Garcia in 6th, AJ Kirkpatrick in 7th, and Travis Pastrana back in 7th place.
Well, lots of time to correct here. We've doubled the lap times amount of laps, I should say, from what we saw in the LCQ. But look at the lead that DeBrino's got right now, and take a look at the aerial shot right there. I love the aerial shots of this course. I mean, look at all that. You're turning left, and you quick back right, and you're into that sweeper.
Yeah, really gives you a nice perspective for what these riders are looking at dealing with. DeBrino get pretty sideways right there. You know, DeBrino, he is not scared to push that bike. And occasionally past its limits.
Joe Kopp's gaining a little bit of real estate on him right now, and then you've got Jordan Graham that's rounding out the top 3 as of right now.
Yeah, it looks like DeBrino, man, I don't want to see him stretch it on Joe, but it looks like Joe's making up a little bit of time there. Joe's making up a little bit of time on Andy. I think he's running a little bit more of a shallow line through the corners, and it looks like Andy's pushing pretty hard. Joe's a little bit more conservative. That line might be working a little bit better for him.
Those two are pulling out to a lead. They've put some space between them and number 47. That's Jordan Graham. We are at the halfway point here. This is lap 6 out of 12. Travis Pastrana still hanging tough back there in that number 8 spot. You got Bonzi in 4th, Hill, Garcia, Kirkpatrick, then Pastrana. Those are your top 8 as of right now. Again, this is the final. It is a 12-lap race. We're at lap 7 out of 12. It is Andy DeBrino sitting in that number 1 position. Can Joe Kopp press the issue here on the final half of the race?
Joe Kopp is trying to chase him down. He's using every little bit of the track he has. He's using all his tricks, all of his imagination to try and catch up to Andy and put a move on him. But I'll tell you this, catching him is one thing and passing him is going to be a whole other thing.
Well, you can see he's trying to line up a little bit. He's trying to go for a couple of inside moves right there, but on the straightaway there, Andy pulls away from him here as we get into lap 9 out of 12. We're down to the final quarter of the race here.
I think Joe Kopp pulled a couple tricks out of his bag. He's got that bike. It looks like it's working a little bit better than it was earlier.
Staying tight in the corners and then gain some ground there back on that straightaway.
Trying to chase Andy DeBrino down, man. He's waiting for a mistake. Hopefully Andy makes a mistake and, you know, Joe Kopp can make up a little bit more ground on him.
Look at the separation that they've got between the rest of the pack. I mean, Jordan Graham's a little bit of a ways back there, and he's sitting in 3rd place as of right now.
Yeah, we're already lapping a couple
I was going to say, we're getting into lap traffic now, and that's going to muddy the waters.
We're on the last lap. We got Joe Kopp trying to chase down Andy DeBrino. Man, he's got his work cut out for him on this last lap.
So here we go, coming around to that straightaway, and it gets dangerous right here. It gets tricky with the lap traffic, so the white flag is out. We are on the last lap here. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Andy DeBrino, or is Joe Kopp going to be able to catch up to him on this final lap?
Andy doing everything he can to keep that gap. Joe trying to chase him down, trying to use every bit of racetrack to catch him.
Coming back.
Doesn't have enough, not today.
Into that straightaway, and it's going to be Andy DeBrino walking out of here with the first ever Nitro World Games Super Hooligan Flat Track win.
Joe Kopp with a close 2nd place and Jordan Graham in 3rd. So we've got a KTM and we've got a Triumph and an Indian rounding out your top 3. Stevie Bonzi coming up in 4th. I'll tell you what, he's on an older model Scout. I'm very impressed by Bonzi's finish.
Jimmy Hill there in 5th. You got Garcia in 6th. Kirkpatrick. Where did Travis end up? He ended up in 9th, so he slipped one spot right there.
Yeah. You got the Surfer sliding up right behind Pastrana, Josh Slay. Tony Tucker, 11th. Stace Richmond in 12th. And Tyler Behrman looks like he had bike problems on that first lap. Was not able to get that podium spot that he was certainly looking to get.
He had some issues when he was out there in his Super Pole lap earlier tonight as well. But the checkered flag in the hands of Andy DeBrino right there.
There you go.
Jordan Graham having a little fun out here on track right now.
Jordan Graham does not like to go home with much rubber on his rear tire, I'll tell you that much.
Hey, you know what? There's still a packed house out here at the Utah Motorsports Campus. Why not have some fun and put on a show for everybody out here?
I did not think that was going to be the last burnout, not from these guys. AJ Kirkpatrick there, Steve Bonzi. I think we got Frankie Garcia there too, smoking it out for the crowd. You know, these guys, they love to put on a show, if you can't tell.
That's what they're doing right now. Some of those people are like, hey, wait a minute, I can't see now that you guys just put on the whole smoke screen right there. But how about the night that Andy DeBrino had? Jordan Kopp gave him some fits right there, but he wasn't able. He tried to make a few moves. It was looking like he was lining himself up to make a few inside passes right there, but he wasn't able to make it happen. And the man from Tualatin, Oregon, ends up walking out of here, your winner here. First ever Super Hooligan Flat Track race at a Nitro World Games.
Yeah, I think it all was at start. You know, Andy DeBrino got a great jump on the start, put it in the first corner first, and just never looked back.
Taking a look at Travis Pastrana right there.
TP.
He looked like he cleaned it up a little bit there and was handling the bike a little bit better here in the final round.
You know, Travis is not a big fan of practice, and I think maybe a little bit of practice, we would have seen Travis up in the top 5. He had definitely some room to improve that motorcycle for him. And I don't even know if he could use that rear brake with his foot the way it was. You know?
He said they were rigging it up with zip ties and wire ties.
Andy DeBrino, I mean, you can see the way the guy rides a motorcycle. It is sideways the entire time. He's using every inch of the racetrack and pushing that bike to its limits. As we saw in the Dash for Cash, sometimes pushing it a little bit past its limit.
And in the end, when it's all said and done, some of the boys lining up, sending some smoke signals into the Utah sky out here tonight.
That's about the perfect way to end a Nitro Circus weekend of mayhem.
Exactly. burn out some rubber and send the fans off with a big smile on their face. Let's send it down to Lorette one more time.
What an amazing race. Andy DeBrino, that was absolutely incredible. Out here, sometimes brave moves really have to be made, but how did you minimize the risk?
Well, I just got a good start, and, I kind of tested tires at the beginning of the race, and it was a little bit looser this afternoon, I think because it's a little hotter. So tires were greasy. I felt like we're on the limits of the tires, and Joe was right there. So all I did was just not make mistakes, just look forward, hit my marks. I rode a little defensive, but I kept her on two wheels and got the job done. So I couldn't be happier. Dream come true to be here at Nitro World Games, compete with Travis Pastrana, my idol. Thanks to all the fans for hanging out, and I just got to give a huge thanks to Rottweiler Motorcycles out of Bremerton, Washington, Rockstar Energy, Shift, Savage Custom, Dunlop Tires, Motorsport Hillsboro, all my sponsors, my friend Jeff for coming out, Bleeding My Brakes, Toxic Moto Racing, and all my sponsors. I'm just so thrilled right now.
Unbelievable job. Congratulations to Andy DeBrino, your winner in Super Hooligan Flat Track. Guys.
What a day he has had out here, and what a finish to Nitro World Games 2019, including a brand new event into the mix out here. And wow, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better finish to that, both the LCQ as well as the final race.
Yandy's got to be happy. He's leaving here with top qualifying spot. He won the main event and he took the Dash for Cash, so he's gonna leave Salt Lake with the lion's share. Man, it's been a blast watching these guys ride.
Yeah, and again, going back to what I was saying earlier, just the camaraderie that these guys have, and Lorette touched on this earlier in one of her interviews, just seeing all these guys and how they rally all together, with Tyler earlier and having bike issues and Jimmy Hill, hey, you can take my ride out there. Just walking through the pits. I mean, it's just an awesome thing to see. And again, when you see these guys are all out there having a good time, you don't see any stress. It doesn't appear to be any pressure on these guys. It's all about just getting out there, going fast, but having fun in the process.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what hooligan racing is truly all about. It's about friends getting together and riding motorcycles, building bikes in your garage, coming out and smashing them back together when you crash and getting back out on the racetrack. I mean, it is hooligan racing. Jordan Graham there taking third place. Joe Kopp was second. He's got that big, beautiful Nitro trophy. That's a nice piece to go home with, I'll tell you that much.
I wonder what they're going to charge you for the airlines for checking that in the bag and trying to fly home with that thing. You might want to ship that thing out. But when it was all said and done, it's this gent right here. Andy DeBrino wins the Dash for Cash earlier today. Gets an extra $500, and then here stands on the top spot in the podium here. It's Super Hooligan Flat Track.
That's a good podium, The Progressive MC Super Hooligan National Championships is presented by Indian Motorcycles, and it's great to have 3 different brands on the podium as well. Shows the diversity, and it's just, I love seeing Jordan Grant up there. I know Jordan's 2 babies are at home watching this race, and they are stoked that Daddy's on the box tonight.
Well, there is your podium. It's Graham, it's Kopp, it's DeBrino, your 1, 2, 3 out here in Super Hooligan Flat Track. What a day. I mean, that's, my prior flat track experiences, this was a whole different ball game. You've seen these guys do this on oval tracks and see these guys do this out here and have some different turns to contend with out here. It was quite a show. Roland, it was a pleasure working with you, sir. And it has been an epic weekend out here overall. And such a success here for the first time ever with Super Hooligans out here at a Nitro World Games. The event may be done out here at the Utah Motorsports Campus. However, you have not seen the last of Nitro World Games. We've got another edition coming up in 2020. We're going global. We're bringing the party to Wales, UK. We'll see you there.
Bye.